Yeah. Hey, hello everyone. Oh, I think this is my second live Insta, so bear with me. I'm here with Eurostar Foods. Of course, you all know because we've been talking about the flour all week. This is gluten-free chapati flour, and we've had lots of requests for it because obviously people cannot tolerate wheat anymore. But we have found this amazing flour, so I'm going to show you how to make bread. Indian roti with this, or chapatis as you like to call them. We're also going to make a plain paratha, and we're going to finish off with an aloo paratha, which is gluten-free. So this is the flour, guys. Just take a look how soft and beautiful this flour is. It is totally amazing. I absolutely believe in this amazing product. I've got 250 grams of gluten-free white chapati flour here. It's going into my little vessel here. Now, just as a quick kind of like, let's have some fun. Who knows the correct name for this actual bowl? There's an Indian term used for this particular bowl. Just fire away and take as many guesses as you like as to whether you know what this Indian bowl is called. I like working in this bowl because there's lots and lots of room, and it just makes the most perfect dough. So do try and work with a bowl that has a lot of room around it. And so, as I said, 250 grams of gluten-free flour.
Parat. Is it a parat? Is that bowl called a parat?
Yeah, a parat. Yes, who did that? Yes, well done.
I'm missing who it is, but someone's got it.
Oh, well done. Wow, that was really quick. Well done, guys. Okay, so now, very, very important. 250 grams of flour, and we've got 200 mils of warm water here. We may not use it all. Really important, the ratio and the flour is perfect, okay? That way you'll make great, soft rotis all the time. So I'm going to go just as normal as you would make the normal atta. I'm just going to go in with half of it to start with, and I'm going to start to work it with my fingertips here. Because what I want is I want all of that flour to soak that water in, okay? So we just begin to work with it just like you're making a normal atta, or an atta, which is a dough for Indian breads. And you just want to work it, and then you want to come in with a little bit more of that water. In it goes, and then completely again just work it with your hands. This is really quick. Unlike wheat flour, you do not have to rest this flour. Now, it will become a little bit sticky. Can you see it's sticky on my hands? But please do not worry about that, because I'm going to show you something in a minute. It's almost like magic.
Angela, could you ask on the Eurostar Commodities leaflet, it says cold water. What's the temperature of the water?
Right, okay, so let's just clear that up. You can use cold water, absolutely. I found working with warm water, you get a much better texture dough, and you get the roti is actually a lot more, it just feels lighter, and you get that kind of layer. So you'll watch when we make it. But I think it will work, of course it will work with cold water. But you know what, when we made atta, we've always used warm water. So that's the reason why I've used warm. Now we're just bringing this together, like so. Now, take a look at this, guys. You think, oh, that's quite sticky. I mean, how on earth is she going to roll out with that? Well, hey, guys, do not be tempted to add flour. What you do is, you go away, you wash your hands, okay? And in that time you're washing your hands, the rest of the dry flour will soak in the water. And when you come back to it, you'll be able to work with it really, really well. So we're just going to go over here quickly to wash my hands.
Angela, can you just repeat the quantities? Someone's just asked how much water and how much flour.
Right, so you've got 250 grams of flour, and you've got just under 200 mils of water. I haven't used it all, there's just a drop in there. So go with 200 mils and you might get a tiny bit extra. Look, you see, like that. Now I'm not going to dry my hands, guys. I'm just going to go back in, and look how easy it is to work with that flour. So the mistake people make is they think, oh, that's too sticky, I'm going to add in more flour. But you don't need to do that, because at that point all of that flour hasn't soaked in the water. Okay, so you don't need to add more flour. This is the perfect dough now. Look at that. Doesn't it just look like atta? Okay, I'm getting so excited.
Angela, people are asking, are we going to save this live? And we are, and we're also going to write up the recipes and make them available to people.
We are.
And give you some tips and advice that are written down as well. so you can have that as a recipe at your side when you're using
Definitely,
the flour.
but do you know what, guys? It's so easy to make. You've got 200 mils of warm water, 250 grams of the white atta. There is a brown atta if you wish to use the brown atta. I'm just showing you how to use the white one because it's quite an easy one to work with to start with as a beginner, but feel free to use the brown one as well. So here is our already made dough. The beauty of this dough is you do not have, like roti, Indian flour atta, you have to wait at least 10-15 minutes. You don't have to with this one. You can go straight in and roll it out. So my dough, it's quite sticky still. You just put your hands in the flour and then you pinch a bit. Now guys, this needs to be about roughly 40 grams in weight. And then you take it, dip it in some flour, and then if you want a round chapati, this has to be round, yeah? So you just take it across the palm of your hand, just take a look at that. I am making this dough lovely and smooth. The smoother the dough, and if you start with a round shape, you will get a round roti, just like that. Okay, then it goes into my flour again, and then I just form a little disc with my hand, just like this. Dip it back into my flour. This is an Indian rolling pin. Do get one. You can get it off Amazon. They are absolutely great. I'm going to put it onto my clean surface here. So here's the trick. What you want to do is, if you're right-handed, you want most of the turning to be done with your right hand, and you want to concentrate on the outer part of your dough, not the middle part, okay? And then you simply roll, and you're applying pressure with your right hand. And as you can see, the dough just moves down just like magic, just like that. I just love this, you know what? I've made rotis since I was 8 years old, and I absolutely love making them.
Anjula, I have questions from people before that have come in during the week.
Yeah.
Quite a few people have said that they can't get them round. Does it matter? Do they taste the same? Are they going to come up if they're not round, if they're funny shape?
It absolutely does not matter. What matters is the ratio of the flour and the water. If your dough is perfect, you will always make puffed up rotis. It's not about the shape of your roti, and also they will taste the same even if they were the map of England, the map of Ireland, Italy. It does not matter. Okay.
All in saying it's perfect shape, so you're getting the love.
Okay, so again, let me just show you. My right hand is forcing the edge of that roti to go around. Can you see that? It is just, if you get that right, guys, I promise you, with a lot of practice, you will get this. And there you go, the perfect shape. So now we're going to go across here, and we are going to turn our grill on to about 7. Of course, you can use the traditional tawa, which is a traditional roti making little thing. It's just basically a griddle pan without the lip, so it's easy to turn. I'm just going to get rid of any excess flour. On it goes.
Can you make triangular ones? Someone wants to know.
Of course, you can make any shape you like. It really, really does not matter. Let me show you how to make a triangle paratha in a minute.
And what is the kind of griddle you're using there, please, on your induction hob?
This came with the induction hob. This is just a normal griddle. You can just use a round griddle pan if you like as well. It's exactly the same. Now here, this is very important. So can you see where it's not quite warm enough? So I'm just going to turn it up a bit. It's very important to make sure that the griddle pan is quite hot as well. But can you see it's changing colour? And we're just going to wait for the little bubbles to appear. Those bubbles are basically the water drying up. So the water is turning into steam, and that's what is going to go roti to up. If you've got the water ratio correct, I promise you, you will be able to make. If you went to 100 Indian households, they will tell you make the rotis on the tava and serve them immediately, okay? But if you wanted to, you can add a teaspoon of oil and a little bit of salt into your flour when you're producing the flour, and that will make the roti supple. I mean, I just don't like doing that because I think there's enough salt and ghee in the food that we're eating, like the dal's got some ghee in it, so I don't want to add any extra salt and ghee, but of course you can do. Now, as you can see, these have changed color. I'm going to flip them over, okay, and then I have here a little chapati presser. I'm just going to gently force the bubbles to appear even more by just pressing down very, very lightly. And can you see those little bubbles, air bubbles appearing? Can you see that?
A couple of people have asked, can you do them on the induction? And
yes, you can. Do them on the induction. Of course you can, yeah. So just make sure you have an induction pan to do them on. And then you just flip them over again. And then they will just begin to cook.
And someone also asked, I can answer that one. And Matt, who's helping me with the filming, yeah, they do taste
amazing.
They taste amazing, guys. I am not in the habit of pushing anything out there that I don't think works and that doesn't taste great. These are absolutely amazing. I'm so in love with this flour, I cannot tell you. And there you go. They're fluffing beautifully up. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? So I love it. You know what? The best time when I'm making Indian food, this is the best. And even when we're teaching, the faces of people completely light up when the fact that they can make a roti that fluffs up. Just look at that, guys. Isn't that amazing? And just hold on there, because I want you to see when I break into this. This is a perfect roti, okay? It's light, it's fluffy, it's airy, and it's absolutely delicious. Of course, you can take a little bit of ghee as well, give it a tiny bit of a spreading. This is ghee with a tiny bit of turmeric, which is great for your digestive system. Just a tiny bit. You don't even have to do that. You can have them plain, okay? Let me just grab a plate. Okay, just look at those. Are they not perfect, or are they not perfect? Even if I do say so myself. Okay, little bit of dal going into our bowl just so I can show you how fluffy these rotis are, and you have to try them. Okay, here we go. I am going to rip into one. Just look at the layer. Look at that. Perfect. And then you just simply do the best thing you can do for these rotis is you dip it in to the lentils. They're so good. So good. And again, just look at that. Look at that. Perfect roti. Anybody will tell you. No, in fact, you know what? If you give these to people and you do not tell them they are gluten-free, I promise you they will not know that they are eating gluten-free roti. That is how good this flour is.
They're the best rotis I've ever had, in any, you made them so fresh and beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that, but they are, I would challenge anybody to say that they don't taste as good as...
But you know what? It's amazing, Helen. It's that they are good for those people who cannot tolerate, gluten anymore, and and have missed out on, beautiful breads that go with Indian food. But what they're also good for is people who want a lighter bread, because they are lighter. They have got fewer calories in them as well. So they are a brilliant alternative to roti, if you like. You don't have to be gluten intolerant. They're just lighter and fresher as well. So, okay, I'm now going to make you a plain paratha, which is delightful, okay? Again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm got a piece of dough. I'm going to roll it out. Here, you don't need to worry about the shape. Can you see how easy it is to roll this out? So this is just a plain paratha, guys. I'm just going to switch this or turn this down because we do not want the smoke alarm to go off, because next door will have a little bit of a like, oh my god, what's going on, and then we'll have a lot more people in here than we anticipated, because everybody will be coming to save me because I cook for these guys, my neighbours, and they won't want it to burn, or disappear. So I've got a bit of butter onto here. You can, of course, use ghee, clarified butter. And I've just spread it all around just like that. This is so simple, guys, and it is the most amazing. So somebody said they wanted a triangular shape roti. This is a triangle shaped paratha. So what you do is you go across like this, you press it down. You go across like this, you press it down. See, you've got a nice triangle. Dip it into the actually, sorry guys, I'm just going to come back. I'm going to put a little bit of butter here. And then I'm going to press it down. And then you just press, press, press. Put it into your flour. And then you just simply roll out. Nice and thin. Across. And just make sure that it's all nice and even.
People are asking for the recipe for the dough. Just for people that have joined the live, this is all going to be available live and written up as a recipe on these pages and on Eurostar Commodities website too, so we'll let you have all of that.
And then all you do is pop that on to your nice warm griddle pan. Again, you can use a traditional tawa if you like. And then you just wait for the colour to change ever so slightly. It will happen quickly if the griddle pan is nice and warm. And then you just want, once the colour changes all the way around on the paratha, you flip it over like so, and again you can just give it a gentle press just to encourage the separation of those layers.
Are you going to make naan too?
We are going to post Peshwari naan.
Yeah.
Peshwari naan, guys. I tested it and tested it. It is amazing, and I cannot wait for you to see it. So again, this is cooking very, very nicely. We just want a little bit of colour on this. And can you see how it's puffing out? Because we made that triangular shape and we made a little bit of a layer, it will puff up nicely. Guys, please don't worry about the shape or anything. The fact is that this is gluten-free flour. That for those of you who haven't been able to eat, you know, all these special Indian breads, you can now eat them. And it's really, this is all simple. I want you to go away and think, yes, I can do this. And again, if you want to use ghee, you can use ghee, you can use butter, you can even use, I sometimes will use rapeseed oil, which is amazing. So if you're a vegan, you know, they will taste equally as good with rapeseed oil or even vegetable oil, but rapeseed oil would be my choice. And then on goes a little bit more butter or ghee. And can you see how it's fluffing up there? That's because, you know, we made that triangular shape. Just look at that. They are so simple to make. Simplicity. You need to bring back simplicity.
Spice Pack says she loves the triangle roti, or he, sorry, I don't know, makes it regularly and finds it easier than the circle, and that's why he's just...
Well, do you know what, guys? It doesn't, honestly, please don't get hung up on a round chapati. I mean, it took me a good 2 years to make round chapatis, I promise you. You know what? It's all in the practice about round chapatis. The more you practice, like anything in life, the better you will get at it. As long as you can eat bread that you can, you know, put in, use to soak up all those beautiful sauces and, you know, eat with dal, who cares what shape it is? It really does not matter. Okay, so I'm going to let this get nice and brown. Look at that. Is that not good?
Looks beautiful. I love the colour. It's like golden.
Yeah, and you know, it
amazing.
just, I mean, we don't encourage you to eat these a lot of the time, you know, once a week. But they are just absolutely delicious. Look, and you can see how light that is. Look how light it is. They make the lightest paratha. They make the lightest rotis. Okay, so just a little bit more, and that is your paratha there. Isn't that look
beautiful.
good? Right, okay. So now oh my God, can I eat aloo paratha? I haven't been able to eat aloo paratha because I've become gluten intolerant. Yes, you can. Okay, so I'm going to show you now. So there is our delicious paratha. Same thing, roll your dough out a little bit extra, so probably about 50 grams of dough here. Again, just roll it out.
Leah says it looks absolutely divine.
Thank you so much, Leah. I hope you try it. Okay, and again, with the aloo paratha, don't make the dough very thin to start with. Then what you want to do is just take a little bit of butter, give it a little bit of scraping like this. This is all simplified for you guys because our ethos is we want you to go away and be able to create what we are showing you here, okay? So, and then I've got our mixed filling, which is just potato with lots of delicious spices. I put chaat masala in it, which makes it very zingy and zesty and spicy. Of course, you can just use mango powder. And then you can just add whatever spice you like, guys. Come on, you know. We don't have the curry leaves. No one's going to come and say, you made an aloo paratha and you added mustard seeds. I've added mustard seeds because I like mustard seeds. Traditionally, you wouldn't add mustard seeds. So, honestly, make it your own. And then what you do is you just come across like this. You just bring it all together like so. And then you just pinch it a little bit. And you take away the excess dough. You press it down. You add a little bit of flour. And you press it down again. Turn it over. And then you just press, because you want to spread out that lovely filling. I like to be able to see the filling as I'm rolling it out because I don't like them to be too heavy. Some people, you know, will make the dough heavier, but that's their preference. Don't worry if it breaks a little bit. Who cares? It's going to be absolutely delicious. And again, the flour is a little bit more, you know, fragile than your normal flour. But guys, you can eat gluten-free paratha. That's all that matters. Do not get hung up on the shape or anything like that. Look at that. That's your aloo paratha cooking away very nicely. Do you have any more questions?
We had loads come through. People want to know what induction hob you've got and what grill you're using on there, and you know, have you got any recommendations?
This is a Neff, and the grill came along with the Neff appliance. So yeah, I love the grill. I cook absolutely all kinds on there. I do vegetables on there. I cook all my breads on there. My son cooks his steaks and all kinds on here. So it's a very, very useful tool to have. But even if you don't have that, they will be just as good on a normal tawa, which is basically a griddle pan without the lip. And the reason why the lip isn't there is because it helps to turn the roti up over quite nicely, because if you had the lip there, you'd be messing around and you'd probably burn yourself. But yes, the grill came with the Neff appliances, so do go on their website and take a look.
Absolutely.
And Neff, remember to pay me.
I've got Neha asking, she usually adds water from the tap, and I've heard this before, this is like kind of maybe a really traditional way of cooking. Have you got to be strict with the measurement, or what do you think?
On this one, Neff, because it's gluten-free, that you do have to be careful with the ratio of the flour and the water. But I do exactly what you do with normal atta. I will just put the flour, and most Indians do this. You put the flour in your parath, and you go to the tap and you mix it in, and you know by eye how much water you need to put in there. But yes, you can do it with normal atta, but I would, for now, I would go, unless you really know what you're doing, and I'm sure you will, because if you've been making atta, then feel free to do that. But for those people who aren't used to making, this particular dough and it's gluten-free, it is a little bit more fragile than our atta. So I would start off by making sure you measure your atta and your water.
Everyone loves your apron, by the way.
Thank you. Yes, this belongs to Eurostar Foods. I love it. I generally don't really wear the apron, but I love it.
Only you and like about 4 competition winners have ever had one, so it's very rare.
I just love it. I mean, this is my favourite colour. So when I saw it, I thought, I've got to wear it. I've got to wear it.
A few more questions about equipment that came in during the week.
Yeah.
And one was the rolling pin. Can you use a normal big, thick rolling pin?
Yes, of course you can. You can use any rolling pin you like. If you're used to rolling with a thick rolling pin, then feel free to do it. As I said, guys, there are no rules. There are no rules. People get hung up about, I mean, obviously, make sure that, the most important thing you must take away from here today is making that dough. Ensure that you use the right amount of water and the right amount of flour. That's the thing that you need to take away with you. And apart from that, use whatever equipment you have in the house. You can even, of course, I don't normally recommend it, but you can cook these in a frying pan. The reason why I don't recommend cooking in a frying pan, because obviously it has that large lip and you can actually burn yourself. So that's the reason why I don't use it. But if you feel like you can do it, then feel free to use it. Now at this point, I am going to use something to turn it over with, because I don't want people saying, "Oh my God, I nearly burnt my hands when I tried to turn it over." And I do normally just turn it over with my hands. And look at that, gluten-free aloo paratha.
Someone asking, Anjula, about the rolling. There's a lot, questions actually about all of your equipment that you use. But I mean, you're saying it doesn't really matter as long as you made the dough right.
The dough is the most important thing that you must take away from you. And actually, let me just show you something. I have several rolling pins. Look at that. So this is for the expert, okay? This is for someone who doesn't quite use rolling pin very often. And this is a normal rolling pin, okay? Take your dough, make it nice and smooth across the palm of your hands like so. Make sure it's lovely and smooth and it's nice and round, because if you want something round, you need to start off with something round. Press it into the flour, make a small disc with the palm of your hands, okay, and then put it on. And this is a normal rolling pin, and there you go. Live on Easter. Okay, so yes, of course you can use a normal rolling pin, and as I'm sure several of you will have just normal rolling pins. There you go.
Lovely, brilliant. And Anjula, when you added the water, you washed your hands, you just left it. If people felt that it was slightly sticky, it was basically, you told me, it was just the flour basically absorbing that liquid.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Give it a second.
So you need to, so all the flour won't have soaked up the water. It just doesn't happen that quickly. So you think that the dough is a bit too sticky. By the time you've gone and washed your hands, you come back to it, and what's happened is that dry flour has soaked in that water, okay? And the dough is no longer sticky. Yeah? We showed you live, like there were no tricks.
Brilliant.
And there you go, that is a gluten-free aloo paratha. And it looks very rustic, but I assure you, it is delicious. The fact you must take away with you, the number one fact, is that you haven't been able to eat aloo paratha, and now you can.
Brilliant, thank you. Last one, I see Minnie's saying that we were planning on going for half an hour, so we've got kind of like 3-4 minutes left. So load up the questions, guys, if you've got any more. Minnie's asking again about making it up and putting it in the fridge, and I know you said earlier fresh is best. So
yeah, so if it's for the fridge, it's no problem as long as you cover it. Make sure it's nice and covered with some cling film or some wax paper. Then you can go back and use it in half an hour. It's no problem at all. But just so in terms of the freshness of the roti and making sure the roti, this flour, I'm going to be completely honest with you, is best used straight away and eaten. The roti is eaten straight away because it has no gluten in it, so it's not really going to stay as supple as your normal roti. But again, I'm going to stress this to you: you can eat roti, you can eat paratha, you can eat aloo paratha. This is gluten-free, guys. So this is the message that we're trying to get across to you, is that you no longer are not limited in eating Indian breads.